Hello and welcome to our Maritime Innovations interview series. Today I'm joined by Dr. Oliver Massmann, the architect of market access. Dr. Massmann is a Vietnam-based international attorney, widely recognized for 3 decades of leadership in cross-border investment, corporate and M&A, energy and infrastructure projects, international tax, privatization and regulatory reform, and VIAC arbitration. Distinguished by his Vietnamese fluency, combined legal and finance expertise, and direct involvement in shaping Vietnam's policy and trade framework. Dr. Massmann is particularly a special guest for this channel because he doesn't just comment on Vietnam from the outside. He has a deep, on-the-ground insight into how the Vietnamese economy works, and he is a fluent Vietnamese speaker. Dr. Massmann, hello, and nice to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosenegger. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy, and I'm ready to support you.
Before we jump in, a quick personal note. We first met in person almost 15 years ago in Hanoi, and I still remember the face of the waitress when you spoke fluent Vietnamese. It was one of those moments that instantly signals this person truly understands the country, not just the paperwork. And what impressed me already back then was your comprehensive market knowledge of Vietnam. And you recently published a strong piece on Vietnam's shipbuilding sector and what must be done in 2026. And in this interview, I want to translate that into practical orientation for maritime decision makers, operators, technology providers, and potential partners. So let's dive right into it. And my first question would be, if you had to summarize Vietnam's shipbuilding reset in one sentence for a shipping CEO or an investor in 2026, what is it really about?
Vietnam's shipbuilding reset under Politburo Decision 220 represents a time-critical strategic opportunity that hinges entirely on a transparent financial and legal cleanup to unlock the sector's long-term potential for sustainable modernization.
That's a strong framing. It's an opportunity, but only if the legal and financial foundation is cleaned up. Otherwise, the whole story collapses, I guess. And in your piece, you stress that timing is critical, which 2 to 3 milestones must happen in 2026 to create real legal certainty, not just announcements.
To establish genuine legal certainty and move beyond now just pure announcement and procedures, the following milestones are essential. There must be a full and legally final completion of the pending bankruptcy procedure. That must be cleaned up, basically. Non-performing projects must be settled. That's key. That's the absolute key.
What I like here is that these are not vague targets. They are legal closure points. And without that, everything else is built on sand, I guess. And from your restructuring and transaction experience, what are the most common deal breakers for foreign capital, unclear title, hidden liabilities, governance, procurement integrity, or something else?
The most significant deal breakers center around a lack of legal and financial clarity. Foreign capital will not enter the sector if there are unsolved ownership structures or hidden liabilities or unclear asset titles. Furthermore, delays that risk further asset deterioration and a lack of transparent procurement practices or international accounting standards will severely deter new investment in that sector. Substantial foreign investment will only materialize if the restructuring process is legally complete and commercially structured and sound.
That's very clear. It's less about excitement, more about trust, infrastructure, titles, liabilities, accounting, procurement. And if those basics are unclear, serious money simply stays away. And you argue Vietnam should not compete in low-margin commodity shipbuilding. Which higher value segments are most realistic first? Repair, retrofit, conversions, or specialized vessels, green new builds, and why?
Vietnam must pivot away from low-margin commoditized shipbuilding. The most realistic higher value segments to target first include repair, retrofit, and vessel conversion services, specialized vessels such as offshore wind installation vessels, LNG support ships, and coastal logistic vessels. Green and low emission ships, that's the key. Digitized and modular shipbuilding processes, Focusing here is critical because these segments offer stronger value creation potential and align directly with global decarbonization trends.
This is a great bridge to maritime innovation. It's not innovation as a buzzword, it's innovation where demand and margin are moving, decarbonization and the retrofit capacity and the specialized tonnage and modern production. For ship operators, where could Vietnam become relevant in the next 12 to 24 months? What do you think? Is it more the repairs, retrofits, the conversion offshore or coastal logistics maybe? And what should they look for?
In the near term, Vietnam could become highly relevant for operators seeking repair, retrofit, and vessel conversion services. There's also notable potential regarding specialized vessels like coastal logistics and offshore wind installation vessels. Operators should actively look for shipyards that are successfully integrating into global supply chains and adopting international ESG standards through strategic foreign partnerships.
I like that you give operators a filter. Don't look at the flag on the gate, but look for an integration into global supply chains, incredible ESG and partner standards. That's a quite practical checklist. And you mentioned technology transfer and strategic foreign partnerships. What partnership models are most workable right now? Is it JV, minority stake, long-term alliances, or something else, and why?
The most workable structures at this stage are joint ventures. Given the sensitivity of shipbuilding sector with a pending bankruptcy proceedings, a foreign investor must find a reliable Vietnamese partner to implement shipbuilding in Vietnam. Plus, the current commitments of Vietnam do not directly allow a foreign investor to enter into this sector alone, 100%. So this model is highly effective because they allow for the introduction of advanced automation and production technologies. Additionally, they help implement international ESG standards and integrate Vietnamese shipyards into global supply chain.
That's an important point. The JVs, the joint venture is not just a commercial preference. It's also a practical way to navigate current constraints while still enabling technology transfer and standards. Let's talk a bit about governance. What specific governance upgrades matter most to rebuild trust with banks, customers, and insurers, reporting, procurement, and supervisory structures, management incentives?
Rebuilding trust with banks, customers, and investors requires moving to modern management systems and international accounting standards. Specifically, the sector must establish transparent procurement practice. This is very important. Professional supervisory structures and clear accountability and performance-based management. That's the key.
And this is where many maritime discussions stay too high level, but you're naming the hard mechanics, procurement, transparency, supervisory structure, and this. That's why institutional stakeholders look for. To close, I'd love to give the audience a short set of signals they can actually watch during the 2026. So 3 signals to watch in this year that would make you say this reset is real.
3 definite signals that the reset is progressing realistically are the efficient conclusion and formal closure of bankruptcy proceedings as soon as possible, the clear resolution of ownership structures, liabilities, and asset titles, the active attraction of strategic investors, bringing technological expertise and access to international order books and foreign direct investment.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, those are measurable signals: closure, clarity, and the quality capital with technology and order books, not just capital. One thing international maritime stakeholders should do, and one thing they should avoid when engaging Vietnam's shipbuilding sector in 2026.
To do here, stakeholders should look to form joint ventures or take minority strategic stakes to introduce advanced technologies, provided that bankruptcy procedures are finalized and asset structures are clarified. Please avoid the don't do. Stakeholders should avoid committing capital before legal certainty is established. Engaging while ownership structures and liabilities are still unresolved is a no-go and a primary risk. Additionally, the sector as a whole must avoid competing primarily on low margin and commoditized shipbuilding.
Yeah, that's very actionable. And engage via the right structure, but only after legal certainty, and avoid the commodity trap. Dr. Massmann, thank you so much for turning a complex infra restructuring topic into practical orientation for maritime decision makers. Thanks so much for your time today.
I thank you very much, Mr. Rosenegger, to have me. Thank you so much.
Yeah.